Whether the team is performing clean or unsightly, we'll cover it all here on Washington Football Nightly. I, of course, am your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So there's a lot of noise outside of the building right now. Fans and media pundits and a lot of chatter about this defense and Taylor Heineke and can he do this moving forward? Did he play well? Didn't he play well? The defensive line, they're not as advertised. They're overrated. Where's Chase Young? What about Montez Sweat? What are these guys doing? You know, what about this defense? The secondary, it's trash. Yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of chatter going on right now. A lot of noise, man. And for me, there's only one way to bring that noise to a hush. Shh. Be very quiet. And that's to put up a big dub on the road versus the Buffalo Bills. Now, not going to be easy. Going to take a lot of work and a lot of adjustments have to be made. But I'm going to tell you, and I've said this already, we're not that far off as some of you may think. And, you know, I find a couple of things really interesting, and I want to share those with you. Heard from a ton of guys over the last 48 hours. I talked about this yesterday on the show, that we heard from just about every player under the sun yesterday. I mean, literally, we heard from Ron Rivera. We heard from Taylor Heineke. We heard from Terry McLaurin. We heard from Jamin Davis yesterday. We heard from I'm missing at least two guys. I mean, it was a litany of guys that spoke at the podium. Sam Cosmi spoke yesterday. I mean, this is what happens when you win, though. You know, more people are willing to speak and they're open and they have more time on their hands than when. And it was a long week. Obviously, you get the quick turnaround, you win, you get 10 days off. So there was a little bit more media availability. I don't think that'll be the case moving forward, but we'll see. At the end of the day, a lot has been said over the last week since Washington played. Tomorrow will make it a week ago, Thursday. And, did they win the game? You still got Giants fans bitter about that. Look, it's over. Okay. The NFL did what they did. Whether you think it was offsides or not, it doesn't matter. As Giants fans have said, and as I said last year, don't complain about missing the playoffs with 6 wins. Okay. Don't complain about what the Eagles did or didn't do. You won 6 games. Don't complain about what the refs did or didn't do. You dropped passes. You missed opportunities. You jumped off sides, whether he was offsides or not. Why are you moving? Like, don't put the game in the hands of the officials. You might not like the outcome. Same thing when you're a boxer. Don't put the fight in the hands of the judges. You may not like the outcome. You want to win? Go do it yourself. They didn't do that. We took advantage. We got the dub. So a lot of noise. And, I was listening to all of these press conferences and, the media, they are a part of some of this noise that's outside the building. I think they are also, perpetuating some of the fires that are being started. And when these questions are being posed, I know one reporter in particular, Ben Standig, continues to ask the question and phrases it as, well, you were supposed to have Ryan Fitzpatrick and Curtis Samuel. This is his, go-to question for Terry McLaurin. And then he asked other guys because of what Terry said and responds like Scott Turner. You were supposed to have, Ryan Fitzpatrick as if that's a massive upgrade over what we have right now. And, Curtis Samuel, but you don't. And, so how are you adjusting as if, I'm getting a sense, and I could be wrong here. I can't confirm nor deny this, but I'm getting the sense that nobody really believes in Taylor quite yet, except for Scott Turner. I think the players think that he can do it, but I don't know if they think he's an upgrade over Ryan Fitzpatrick quite yet. I think they feel like he brings a ton of energy. He gives them a spark, but I don't know if they think it's a lasting spark. I don't think they think right now that he is the guy. think they're still operating as if he's a backup filling in and doing an admirable job. Okay, it's one game. I don't blame them for feeling that way. But I get the sense that Ron doesn't believe quite yet. I don't think that Terry McLaurin believes quite yet. I don't think that a lot of these guys don't give a shit, honestly. You know, like Sam Cosmi really doesn't care who's behind center at this point. He's a rookie. He's just trying to do his job. You know, the defensive guys, honestly, as long as you're not putting them in tough situations, they really don't give a shit who's under center. Because what that quarterback does really doesn't affect them other than if that quarterback is turning it over or they're scoring or not scoring points, going 3 and out, missing open receivers and reads, things of that nature. When you ask a defensive player about something on the offensive side, I mean, you get a basic ass answer. They really don't know what the hell's going on over there. I know that they feel like this guy brings energy and they like that. But I don't really get the sense that they believe quite yet. He's going to need a signature victory. Enter in Sunday in the Buffalo Bills on the road. We've heard from multiple players and coaches, as I mentioned, but in particular, Ron Rivera and Chase Young made mention of the fact that this is a big game, albeit week 3. Ron has already said, measuring stick. Figure out where you are, how you measure up. The media has already made sure that every coach and player knows, hey, you're playing all 4 of the teams that played in the championship game last year. Buffalo, Kansas City, Green Bay, Tampa Bay. You're playing all of them. This is the first of 4. I've told you guys as much that this is the first of 6 for me in terms of big-time games on this schedule, and there could be more. We don't know yet. We don't know what the Raiders are going to be. We don't know what the Panthers are going to be. We don't know what the Broncos are going to be. This could be the first of 9 or 10 big ones, excluding the division. Who's to say? I do know this. It's a big game. Ron has said it. Chase said it's a heavyweight battle. How much weight you carrying? That's what we're going to find out. Okay? I can dig it. I got a shovel. I can dig it, baby. So, last week, there was a challenge. Don't go to 0-2. Find a way to beat the Giants. They've beaten you 5 times in a row. Daniel Jones is undefeated. There was a challenge issued. Challenge accepted. Challenge met. Challenge has been laid down. Heavyweight battle. How much weight you carrying? We're going to find out if this defense can start to carry their own weight. We're going to see if the offense can continue to carry their weight. And we need to make sure Dustin Hopkins and the special teams unit can continue to carry their weight as well. A lot of noise outside the building, coming from everywhere. Fans, media types, everywhere. Let's see how the guys handle all of this noise. Let's get to in other news. So today was really, for all intents and purposes, the first real day of practice, although they practiced yesterday. They were in the bubble today. A little inclement weather outside. So they took it inside in the bubble. And same as yesterday, Curtis Samuel, Matt Ioannidis, Derek Forrest, all on the side field getting work in. So again, I am encouraged by the side field work of one Curtis Samuel and of Matt Ioannidis. I told you I didn't expect him to practice today. I think tomorrow will be a big day because I need to see at least an LP out of him, limited practice. And then hopefully we can get to where we get an FP on Friday. Now, even if tomorrow's an LP and Friday's an LP, I still feel good. If we get no practice tomorrow, that's when I start to say, don't really know if this guy's going to go or not. So I think tomorrow's a big day for Matt Ioannidis. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the injury report for both teams, see what it looks like. And I can tell you this much. We're sitting pretty once again. Let's knock on a little bit of wood. A lot of guys on the injury report for the Bills, but don't be fooled, okay? Most of these guys are going to play, and you're going to see that here in a second as we take a look at the injury report. So, Matt Ioannidis, knee. As we know, they're not giving us too much of what exactly the injury is. Should have known better. But he didn't practice today, which is fine. Didn't expect him to. Antonio Gibson, shoulder, limited practice. Again, told you if you're going to miss a day, Wednesday is that day. So today's the limited day for Antonio Gibson. I expect him to be a full participant tomorrow and Friday. We'll see. He could be limited again. He's playing, okay? Nothing right now leads me to believe that Antonio Gibson won't be in the lineup come Sunday afternoon, 1:05 p.m. in Buffalo at Orchard Park. So, feel really good about Antonio Gibson. As far as Buffalo is concerned, a lot of names. Let's go through it quickly because don't buy the hype. 95% of these guys are playing on Sunday. Maybe one or two guys may not play. Let's take a look. Cole Beasley. NIR means not injury related. So essentially, you see the word rest. That's exactly what it is. Same with Jerry Hughes, defensive end. Both of those guys didn't practice. I told you, if you're not going to practice, Wednesday is the day that you don't practice. Okay, it's an install day. So more of mental reps than anything else. You're fine. Just understand what it is we're doing conceptually. Get back out there on Thursday and Friday. So those guys are going to play. They're fine. They don't have any injuries. Star Lotulelei is the guy you should be paying attention to because he is a big piece of their defense inside. Ron knows him all too well. He was there when they drafted him in the first round back in like 2015 or 16 or 14 even. Either way, Star Lotulelei, a big part of that defense. He's got a groin and he's not practicing. That's the guy you should be keeping an eye on. More so than any of these other players, Star Lotulelei is the guy you should be paying attention to because he's the one that more likely than not, if someone's going to miss, would miss. Gabe Davis, ankle, limited practice. Micah Hyde, safety, neck, limited practice. Dane Jackson, cornerback, knee, limited practice. All of those guys I expect to play on Sunday with limited practices on Wednesday. I wouldn't be shocked to see two or three of those guys elevate from limited to full practice participant on Thursday. As far as the full participants go, Tremaine Edmonds, who you know I love and wanted here in Washington back in the 18 draft, heat illness, F.A. Obata, calf muscle, full practice. Ron knows him from Carolina. And Levi Wallace, cornerback, knee, full participant in practice today as well. So if you're a full participant on Wednesday, barring any kind of setbacks, you're playing more likely than not on Sunday. Now, Tremaine Edmonds doesn't actually have a ailment. He just had heat illness, whatever the hell that is. Maybe it was just hot outside today. He's fine. He'll be playing. So what I just essentially explained to you is that of the 9 guys that the Bills have on this injury report, 8 of them will probably play. 1 has a chance. And that's not a guarantee at this moment. I think tomorrow will be a big day. If he doesn't practice tomorrow, he being Star Lotulelei, if he doesn't practice tomorrow, more likely than not, he will not play on Sunday. So that's one to keep an eye on. So we heard from Jack Del Rio. We heard from Scott Turner. So I think that's how they're going to do it this year. You know, remember last year, Wednesday was the offensive day. We heard from the quarterback. We heard from Scott Turner. And then Thursday, we would hear from Chase Young or some defensive player, and we would hear from Jack Del Rio. And again, the first 2 weeks of the season have been abnormal. So maybe after this week, we'll get back to a level of normalcy, and maybe we'll get back to each coordinator having its own day. But as of right now, the last 2 weeks, we've had, shortened weeks or unique weeks, I should say, because of the 2 weeks off before the first game and then the short turnaround for the second game. They've crammed everybody into one day. We'll see if they go back to the format of last year or if they keep it this way. Either way, we heard from both Scott and Jack today, in addition to all the guys we heard from yesterday, Terry and Taylor Heineke and some of those guys. So Jack was his honorary self, as I love, doesn't want to give away anything. And, one thing I found interesting, 2 things actually. So I had a guy asked me a question on today's podcast, and he asked me that same question in the comment section of a video that I posted last week, I believe. I answered him in the comment section. I don't think he saw it, so he asked the question today on the podcast. My guy Thaddeus Gross. Shout out to Thad for being a member of the MOBB, and thank you for all of the members of the MOBB. Stand up. We in the building. You know what it is. So Thad said, I wonder if Jack and Ron are starting off games slow purposefully so that they can make adjustments and catch teams napping, essentially, throw them off a little bit. I'm like, trust me, Thad, nobody wants to start slow. Okay. There's no benefit to starting slow, and there's no sustainability with that. And nobody's looking to fall down 7 or 10-0 in a ball game and having to dig themselves up out of a hole every week. It's tiresome, it's cumbersome, and it doesn't lead to success a lot of times. And so Jack pretty much started out a question, because one of the questions started out one of his answers to a question, which was, hey, you guys have given up, touchdowns on, the opening drive of the first 2 games. You started a little slow. What's going on with that? What do you say to your team? How do you start faster? He said, well, I can tell you this. On my PowerPoint slide, the first one definitely doesn't say, let's start slow. So that one was for you, Thad. In case you were wondering, that one was for you, okay? He was talking directly to you, Thad. Like I told you already, there's no way that that's the intention. It's happened that way for whatever reason. But I thought what was more interesting, maybe not interesting. Yeah, interesting. Is it important versus interesting, right? That someone asked about, and it was Chris Russell, and bless Chris's heart. I don't know why Chris phrased the question this way. He set himself up like he literally lobbed up, a spike job for Jack to just slam it over the net. Get the point. He said, yeah, a lot of people on social media and, some of the pundits and the fans are saying that, Chase, it doesn't have any secondary move. When that first move doesn't work, he doesn't have a counter to that. And so when the speed or the power doesn't work, he's just stuck. And Jack, you can tell Jack really wanted to say, man, shut your dumb ass up. He's coming to me with that stupid ass shit. You really gonna ask me some shit off of social media? The opinions of social media. Jack kept his composure, though. You can see the smirk on his face like, really, dude? You gonna bring that shit to my doorstep? Really? Jack said, look, man, come on, man. Social media, you really gonna, really be doing that? He said, I wouldn't really take the advice or the, criticism from social media, and that serious. Chase is a really good player. We love what he's doing, and we're going to continue to work and get better, essentially is what he said. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but I brought that up only because there are so many of you out there that are losing your shit over the fact that Chase has 0 sacks right now. He's only 1 sack away from where Myles Garrett is right now. He's tied with Khalil Mack for, 0 sacks. Myles Garrett has a sack this season. Like, it's early. It's week 2. And I've contended and argued he could have gotten a half a sack last game with, Montez Sweat getting a full sack against the Giants. They could have split that sack in half. I don't care how they divvy it up. They felt like Sweat needed to get the entire sack. Cool. I have no problems with that. And it was a pretty cool stat I saw that, you know, Montez Sweat is the first Washington football team player since Brian Orakpo back in like 2000 and I don't know, like 9 or something crazy like that to have 5 games with at least 1 sack in a row. So cool for Montez. Hopefully he keeps that streak going. But Chase has gotten pressure. It's just not as much as we would like to see him get. He'll be fine. And I told you guys, they will come. The sacks will come. And they will come in droves. They will come in bunches. And Chase essentially said that when he stepped up to the podium today, which was like, yeah, nah, I'm cool. I'm good. You know, a lot of noise out there. He talked about the specific noise about, you know, this defense not living up to expectations to this point. And he's like, I like that. I like the fact that the expectations are high for us because we put high expectations on ourselves. So we're glad that, you know, everyone has high expectations for us and we look to, you know, meet those expectations, maybe even exceed those essentially. And he's like, you know, they got a lot to say right now, but when we start playing good, they all going to be on board again. So we fine, essentially, is what he said. And Jack pretty much said the same thing. Like, we good, man. Like, Jack said, hey, we got pressure in the first game. I don't even know what you're talking about. I was like, I don't know about that one, Jack. I don't know about that, Jack. I don't really think you got a lot of pressure. I thought upon further review, and I told you guys this already, we got a lot more pressure than I thought in the Giants game. A lot more pressure. But not week 1. I don't know about that one, Jack. But anyway, we're going to be fine. I really do truly believe that. And I think those guys are going to continue to get better. I'm more concerned with the secondary than I am the front 4, you know, to be honest with you. But, you know, that's a different discussion for a different day. Scott Turner talked about Taylor Heineke. I know he believes in Taylor. You know, that's the one guy right now that I know believes in Taylor. I think the team knows that Taylor is capable. But I don't know if they fully buy into this guy being the guy or not. And again, I don't blame them for that. Scott is like, look, I know the dude can play. You know, his quarterback's coach has already said, and he did this last year, did Ken Zampese. Look, he just needs to stay healthy, man. The dude can play football. You know, there's no doubting that. You just got to stay healthy. Let's knock on a little bit of that wood thing. And if he can do that, guy's got immense potential, you know, and I love what Scott said today about, you know, how people view players with their initial grades. You know, oh, he's undrafted and he's small, and that's why he's undrafted. He's small, doesn't have a big arm, played at a you know, smaller school. You know, when Taylor was there, they were at FCS school. I think his final year, that's when they graduated to FBS level, and he got overlooked. Got passed over. And he said, you know, the problem with being an undrafted guy is if you don't play consistent enough ball for a long enough period, you'll always carry that stigma of being undrafted. And the minute you have a bad game, he said, Taylor could have 5 great games. He plays 1 bad game and they'll say, oh, yeah, that's why he was undrafted. That's the undrafted guy right there. And he said, until he is able to consistently play at the level he played at last week and against Tampa to showcase his skills to everyone that he can do this, there's always going to be that, you know, that sentiment that, yeah, you know, he's undrafted. He is what he is. I get it. And he's not wrong. So, like I said, a lot of noise out there, but the only way to quiet that noise is to go out and play ball and be consistent. That's what I want to see from this team is consistency. Haven't really seen that yet this year. We haven't been terrible in either game, obviously. Won one, lost one, and had a chance to win both. But we want to see consistency. We want to see this team start faster. And I think they're going to work towards that. You know, there was a conversation about Cam Sims getting more snaps. Ron brought that up yesterday. It was brought to Scott Turner today. And he's like, look, man, it'll all balance itself out by the time it's all said and done. So. Found a lot of things that were said over the last 2 days to be very, very interesting. I really like how this team feels heading into week number 3. Speaking of week 3, let's take our first look at the Buffalo Bills. We won't get into them too particular today, but I do want to acknowledge that this is a team that I don't think has hit their stride yet this season. I think we're catching them at a very vulnerable and good time. They struggled in week 1. I still think that offense is not quite right in where it was last year when they were clicking. Like last year, towards the end of the season, I think they were scoring almost over 40 every week. If not over 40, over 35 every single week. You couldn't stop them. You could only hope to contain them at the end of the season last year. They had it on tilt. They're not there yet. Josh Allen is missing open receivers. They're turning the football over. They still scored. And I say all of that, and they go on the road and they blank Miami 35-0. And I'm telling you, they're not clicking on all cylinders yet. So that's scary. But I say that because we're not the Miami Dolphins. And I think we stand a much better chance of getting to Josh Allen, forcing some mistakes. And Allen is a guy, I've said this for a long time, and I love Josh Allen and you guys know that. But one of his biggest problems is ball security. When he runs with the football, when he's in the pocket with the football, he doesn't protect the Duke. He leaves it out there like a loaf of bread, and you can have at it. There's free, easy access to the football if you're looking to go after the football. I don't think we go after the football aggressively enough. I don't know if they're coaching it well or not, but I look around the league and everybody's got a peanut punch except us. Nobody, we're not looking for peanut punches. Everybody else seems to be looking for them. We're not. We're not looking for strips. We're looking for big hits. Everybody else seems to be looking for strips. We want hits. I want strips. I want the ball. So this is one of those weeks where you really need to be practicing trying to get that football out. Devin Singletary, I love him. But he'll put it on the ground if you go after it. You stick your hand in a cookie jar, you can come out with some yum, yum, eat them up. Yum, yum, eat them up. They got weapons at the receiver position. You thought the Giants were lethal with what they were doing? And nobody thought the Giants were lethal until we made them look like it. Have some busted coverages, have some mistakes this week and see what happens. I like our chances on the defensive side of the football. The defensive side of the football, or I like our chances defensively against their offense. I think we'll be better this week. I'm a little worried about our offense against their defense. Only because they stunt and move around a lot, and I don't know if we handle that well yet. I wasn't impressed with our offensive line and the way we passed off twists and stunts and movement in week number 1. The Giants don't offer much athleticism up front, so I was never afraid of their line, which is why I told you we needed to protect up front. This Buffalo Bills front is active. They don't have a star. Well, they actually do technically Star Lotulelei, but they don't actually have a game wrecker up front. They don't have one of those dudes. But what they do have is a collection of guys that are active, high energy, and capable of wrecking, an individual play. Not necessarily the game, but an individual play. That worries me a bit because I'm still not 100% sold on this offensive line's ability to communicate, pass off twists and stunts, and protect up front without a hitch. So a little nervous, and the Bills have a penchant for being in the right place at the right time. There were a lot of balls that Taylor Heineke tried to squeeze into some players that bounced up into the air, and we just got lucky that there were no Giants defenders in the right place, right time. With the Bills, they're always in the right place at the right time defensively, and they don't drop interceptions. We'll talk more about the Buffalo Bills tomorrow, get even more intimate with them, and then, of course, Friday, keys to the game and prediction. So let's get to social media maneuvers and what you guys have to say. And we'll start all the way at the top. And we'll start with Quentin Ruiz. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Quentin writes, is it me? Is it just me, or Does Chase Young seem to take horrible angles when he's rushing? I know he's going to get it together soon, though. You are the man, LT, by the way. Thank you, Quentin Ruiz. No, you're the man. Thank you for your support. That was one of the knocks on him from last year. If you recall, one of the things that Chase said he was supposed to be working on, and Rivera talked about this briefly, was rush angles. And, cutting a man in half, splitting a guy in half, picking a side essentially, and trying to create a short edge. Chase a lot of times is just rushing at a guy instead of picking a side, which was so refreshing in that first preseason game against New England when he picked a side, latched and snatched, and went right by him and got to Cam Newton. I was like, well, shit, that didn't look like anything we saw last year at all at any point. Well, he seems to be reverting back to, kind of just rushing head up, not picking a side, not cutting a man in half and trying to create a short edge. Seems to be trying to go around or go through. And so he's going to be fine because eventually going around is going to work and going through is going to work at some point as well. But I do think he needs to be a little bit more technically sound. And I think that will come. I'm not worried. He's watching film. He's assessing his play. And I think he knows what he needs to do. And we'll see him continue to progress. And there were some times where I thought he was about to turn the corner and he didn't, So we'll see. I'm confident that he'll get it together. But I do think that you are spot on that his rush angles aren't always the best. Thank you for the super chat, Quentin Ruiz. K Hodge. 778. Thank you for your membership. Stand up, K Hodge 778. You are now officially in the building as a brand new member of the MOBB. Appreciate your membership, mob. You know what to do. Show K Hodge 778 some love. Welcome to the squad. K Hodge 778. Quentin Ruiz, double up, Thank you for doubling up, Quentin Ruiz. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, I'm loving the O-line, but I think Lucas should start. You think he should start where? Left or right tackle? I think the offensive line is fine right now. I don't have any problems with them. I just need to see it. It's a small sample size. Similar to Taylor Heineke, small sample size. Need to see it some more, So I want to see if they can handle the activity that they'll see in week 3 with this Buffalo front, because they move around a lot. Because they don't have a ton of guys that can win one-on-one matchups consistently, they do a lot of games, a lot of twists, a lot of stunts, a lot of action up front. And we got to be able to pass that off efficiently and effectively. And I didn't feel that way in week 1. Thought that we were really, really skittish and inconsistent with, passing off twists and stunts and too many free rushers getting at our quarterback. I think we're fine up front in terms of the 5 guys that are starting right now. Brendan McCloskey, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, B Mac, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, hey, Lou, Heineken is going to regret not signing Heineke to that endorsement deal. Bud is way better anyway. LOL. Hashtag Bob. Hashtag TLH. The legend of Heineke. It grows. That's right. They may regret that, They probably feel really good about not jumping to, not being too hasty right now. They want to see him prove it first before they, guarantee him anything right now. But I don't blame them for their position either, But I don't blame Heineke for pushing that button either. Like, continue to actively seek that thing out and do it on a public forum as well. Like, put that pressure on them. I don't blame them. And I don't blame them either. I think both are in the right now. If I'm Heineken, I need to see more before I cough up some endorsement deal dollars for him to endorse. I mean, he could get hurt next week. Knock on wood. and I just signed this guy to an endorsement deal. Like, that doesn't benefit them any. I think if he has a strong season, that's when Heineken may come calling. As far as Heineke, that exact same reason is why you try to lock in as much money as possible as soon as possible. So, like I said, I think both of them are taking the right approach. I don't blame them, and I don't blame him. Jenny Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My girl Jenny writes, hi, Lou. Hi, Jenny. If Washington wins against Buffalo, it will be a pleasant surprise, but I'm not expecting it. I think, two, the defense can only get better. I agree with that assessment 110%. It will be a pleasant surprise. I'm not as doubtful as I was, but the fact remains, I still think this is a Buffalo Bills win at this current juncture. Now, I still got just a shade under 36 hours before I have to make my selection. Or really, if I'm going off of my sheet, I got just a shade under 24 hours before I have to make my selection. And so I got more time to convince myself otherwise, but right now I'm in agreement with you. I think this is a Buffalo Bills win. I think we played hard. We give them a run for their money, but we just don't have enough. But we'll see. But the defense, like you said, can only get better. It's not going to get any worse. You know, it can get worse. I don't want to say it can't get worse because it can. I just don't think it will. I think it'll get better. So we'll see. Thank you for the super chat, Jenny Perez. Irish, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Irish writes, couldn't disagree with you more, Lou. It's his teammates that believe in him more than anyone else. From what I've seen, he won them over last year versus Tampa. I think his teammates believe that he can play. I don't think they believe that he is the answer, that he's the guy, that he gives them the best chance yet. I still think the jury's out for them. I think his biggest fan in the entire building is Scott Turner. I don't think that's any of the players. I don't think there's one player that endorses Taylor Heineke more than Scott Turner. And, you know, you could say, well, if Turner loved him so much, why did they go out and get Ryan Fitzpatrick? Well, because Taylor Heineke up until this point hadn't been able to stay healthy. You can't hitch your wagon to a guy that has started, 2 NFL games and gotten hurt in both of them. Like that's not smart business. So, Scott Turner could have loved Heineke as much as he wanted, but Ron's like, dude, I'm not hitching my wagon to a guy that started 2 games and gotten hurt in both of them. We're gonna go out here and get a quarterback. So I think Scott Turner all along was like, look, man, Taylor could do this shit. I really think Taylor can do it. And Ron's like, I think he can do it too. I think that's part of the reason Ron was, that in the Tampa game, obviously, but I think that's why Ron was like, yeah, we don't have a competition, even though it was never really a real competition. And I think part of that was that if they had a real competition, I think Taylor would have won. And you didn't want to create that. So don't have a real competition. Never really give Fitzpatrick an opportunity to lose the job. And that's how you end up with Ryan Fitzpatrick as your week 1 starter. But if that was a real competition, I don't know how Taylor Heineke doesn't win it, honestly. Knows the offense better rapport with the players that are here. I just think he would have won the thing hands down, but that's nor here nor there. I think the players believe in Heineke's ability to get it done on a weekly basis, but is he the guy? Is he the right guy for the job? Is he better than Fitzpatrick? I'm not hearing that from any of the players right now. The media is forcing it down their throats, trying to get them to commit, and they're kind of just being, passive aggressive in their praise of him, which I don't have a problem with that. He's only started 1 game this season and 2 in a Washington uniform, albeit both were impressive starts. They need to see more, players included. I get that. Fans should feel the same way. I'm not like most fans. I've watched him play more football than most of you have. I watched him, and I'm not sitting here telling you I watched every single game at ODU. That would be disingenuous. I didn't watch every single one of his starts at ODU, but I watched quite a few of them, more than most of you have. That's for sure. So that's why I feel a little bit more confident, because the only thing stopping me from endorsing him in the first place was the fact that I didn't know if he could do it at this level. I saw him do it at a collegiate level. I saw him do it at the FCS level. I saw him do it at the FBS level. I saw him take ODU to their first bowl game and win it over in the Bahamas. Like, I know what this guy is capable of. So if there was never a doubt of could he do it, in my mind is, could he do it at this level? Well, I've seen enough to feel like he can do it at this level. Now, can he stay healthy and do it consistently at this level? That's the next step. Thank you for the super chat, Irish. Greatly appreciate you. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat and being a member of the MOBB, who writes, it's time to accept challenges before they get to 0-5. I'm lost. It's time to accept challenges before they get to 0-5. You got to help me with that one. I'm being slow, maybe. Maybe I should get this and I just don't. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one. You can run it back if you so choose, or somebody help me. I'm lost. Got another new member of the MOBB, and this is from BJ McDowell. Thank you for your membership, BJ. Stand up, BJ. You are now officially in the building as a brand new member of the Mob Squad. Squad, y'all know what to do. Show BJ McDowell some love. Nah, it ain't McDonald's, but it's McDowell's, as in BJ McDowell's. Show him some love, man. We got the big Mick in the house. Thank you for your membership and welcome to the squad. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Rob Yu, greatly appreciate you, Rob Yu. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB as well, who writes, what up, Lou? What up, Rob Yu? Really excited about Juice on the outside, as I think we might have us one. We'll see. But what's up with Kendall Fuller? You know, WJ3 is going to be a beast for us. I think that's another question that a lot of people are asking right now. Like, what the hell's up with Kendall? If you know, and I think I brought this up already, and we've talked about this briefly. I'll elaborate on it again, though. I talked about Kendall Fuller going into the slot again. Remember when he was here the first time, he started off very slow in the slot. Was not what he turned out to be a year later and moving forward. That first year was a struggle. I look at this as his first year reassimilating to the slot once again, because when he was in Kansas City, he did a number of things, but mostly safety and outside boundary work. We played him primarily at boundary last year with a smatter of safety. Didn't really play inside much last season. And so it's like learning this all over again, like getting on the bike all over again. He's got to learn how to ride. And once he does that, I think he'll be fine. I'm not concerned about Kendall Fuller inside. I just think it's going to take time. Like a lot of things on the football field, it's going to take time. So I'm not as worried. And I too think William Jackson III is going to be really good for us. I like what I've seen from him, even though he's had some penalties and gotten beat. He's also done some good things, and he has our lone interception on the season. So I like what William Jackson III is doing as well, and I think he's going to be a dog for us. Couldn't agree with you more. Thank you for the super chat, Rob. You. Derek B, my guy Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy Derek B writes, second view 99 was still trash. Jag and too much 91 and 99. Blocked by tight end and guessing on zone read. Out of shape. Tez has been okay. 29 and 26 are a problem too. I don't see it the same way you do, man. First of all, 99 and trash don't go in the same sentence. That's somewhat reminiscent of someone bringing up Hainsworth and Young in the same sentence. Like those two don't go in the same sentence. Was he Inconsistent against the Giants and Chargers? Sure, absolutely. Trash? Nah, because this is the thing. When you try hard and you give maximum effort on every single snap, and you couple it with the amount of talent, because there are plenty of try-hard guys in the league. Plenty of guys that give you everything they've got on every single snap, empty the tank until they have to tap out. There are plenty of those dudes. But the difference is they don't have the talent of a Chase Young. So when you couple talent of a Chase Young and maximum effort on every single snap, you don't come up with trash. Now, if he was half-assing it, then you could say that. But I see maximum effort, and I see a guy that right now is still figuring some things out. There's pressure on probably, I'd say, in the first 2 games, he's gotten pressure maybe 15% of the time, which is not good enough, not nearly good enough for a guy of his skill set and talent. But he's been very active. He's been good in the run game. Yeah, has he taken some inside angle, or has he, pursued something like on read option with Daniel Jones one time? He came crashing down and smashed it back, and Jones turns it up and he picks up a 9-yard gain on 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 10, I should say. Yeah. But, he's also making plays as well. He's also impacting the game. Just the mere fact that offenses have to adjust their game plan to make sure they account for 90 and 99 is enough. For years, we didn't have guys that offenses had to adjust their game plan to try to take out of the game or make life more difficult for them. Just that fact alone, that teams have to keep in a 6th blocker, have to chip on the way out, have to slide protections. That's how a guy like Jonathan Allen is allowed to eat right now. Jonathan Allen doesn't have 3 sacks if Ryan Kerrigan's right next to him. That's a slap in the face, Derek Bean. You know better than that. Okay? Nobody's afraid of Ryan Kerrigan. The reason that this line is able to do some of the things that they've been able to do at the start of this season, albeit it hasn't been as much as we would have liked, is because of 90 and 99. And more specifically 99. But 90 has probably been the more impactful guy to this point in terms of production. Don't get it twisted. There's no trash on this D-line anywhere. All right. You can go collecting all you want. You won't find trash anywhere. 97. Hell, 96 is even starting to grow on me a bit. Jury's still out on 95. But ain't no trash around here to be collecting. So 26, I think, is a problem. He's going to have to get his act together. Not the biggest fan of his right now. But it's early. I'm cutting everybody a break because it's early. Y'all wanted the defense to pick right up where it left off last year, and I kept telling y'all got to understand, we didn't play good offenses last year. Y'all don't really know if this defense is good or not. I kept trying to reiterate that. I've actually been really pleased with the run defense to start the season. Daniel Jones gashed us, but the Saquon Barkley 41-yard run, yeah, that sucks. Hey, Bobby McCain, make a goddamn tackle. Take a better angle, make a tackle. Instead of 41, it's 7, maybe 11. Anyway, how about Chase's hustle on that play? That's trash? By the way, that's trash? I don't know. Maybe we have a different definition of trash. Anyway, I digress. We'll be fine, is what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's a very young season. Very young. Don't sweat it. These guys will chase down these other opposing offenses. I don't know if you saw what I just did there. Kevin, the PRF. Thank you for the super chat. greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Look, I'm so confused with you. Is it you're home, but then I see Road Kevin the PRF? What are we doing, man? I need you to make sure you understand what jersey to put on. Home jersey or away jersey? I'm looking for you. I'm getting Road Kevin the PRF. Let's figure this thing out, man. Good to see the home Kevin the PRF show up. I like that guy. He says, opening is the biggest change we need. 2 weeks in a row, opening drives, we go 3 and out, and our defense looks like the receiving end on 7 of 7. I couldn't agree with you more. To me, and I talked about this on Studs and Duds, and consider this a trial period. Now the NFL Network gives you a 7-day free trial of the Game Pass. Consider this a 1-episode free trial of what you'll get with Studs and Duds, and there may be some other little tidbits that you get down the road, but I tried to get cute, set it up for a specific time, and when you do that, you make the video public instead of it being simply just for members, so everyone has access to Studs and Duds. That's fine. I don't mind this time around. Moving forward, obviously, it'll just be for silver and gold members, but I talked about that on Studs and Duds. That one of the duds was we need to get off to faster starts. Like, this is ridiculous. It's getting old fast. And this reminds me of last year. One of the biggest issues I had with this team last year is that we continuously dug ourselves a hole and just expected to come out like gangbusters in the second half. Now, we're not waiting as late this year in these first 2 games. But it's been, as Kevin just said, it's been 3 and out. Defense gets on the field. The opposition races down the field, gets in the end zone. Week 1, Chargers, we won the toss, deferred. Chargers got the football, marched it right down the field. I'm saying, all right, let's go. We got to respond. 3 and out. And then the Chargers, I think, went right back down the field and got a field goal, I think. And just like that, you're like, no, they didn't get a field goal. They were moving the ball, and then I think we ended up getting off the field. Got a little pressure, maybe got off the field because it was 7-6, I believe, at one point, I think. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Either way, I couldn't agree with you more, Kev. Got to get off to faster starts. I'm sick of us falling behind 7-0, 10-0 or 10-3. We got to get off to faster starts. That's going to be big time for us. Thank you for the super chat, Kevin, the PRF. Trevor Patch, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy Trev writes, listened to Lord Brunson and his fans over the last week. I figured out where our fans that fly off the handle come from. The Northeast close to Philly, or they have an Eagles family member. Hey, look, man. They're a little out there because there were, I respect and love the Eagles fans and the Giants fans and the Cowboys fans all alike that can recognize when their guy is a little over the top. Like, okay, now, like, I want y'all to be like, hey, yeah, no, Louie T tripping. Like, yeah, that's my guy, and I'm gonna support him. I don't agree with him here. He tripping. Like, Lord Brunson be saying the most outrageous stuff. And not only are they rocking with it, they doubling and tripling down on it and trying to make us seem like we're crazy for not agreeing with him. I'm like, you do understand this man is talking craziness. Pure insanity is what this man has coming out of his mouth. And they're telling us we're crazy. No, you're the crazy ones. I'm not surprised you came away from watching that video feeling that way. Don't watch too much of that stuff. It starts to infiltrate your brain. You start to lose some brain cells as well. That's how that works. So be careful of how much of that stuff you intake. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Should be a lot of fun watching them do battle with the Cowboys on Monday night. God forbid they win that game. Oh, my God. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. Thank you for the super chat, Trevor Patch. The Blocker, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the squad. My guy, the Blocker writes, Bud Light signed Heineke tonight. Bud Lighterkey. I thought you were going somewhere else with that, but you know, Heineke, I love the fact that he was like, yeah, I might have to start drinking some Bud. He trying, man. I got to give it to him. He trying to get as many coins as possible, man. I don't blame the young fella for that, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Red Wings 01. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, how do you think our line will hold up against Buffalo's pass rush? Have they benefited from playing against some of, if not the worst lines in the NFL? So let's not put an S on lines. It's line. The Giants are that line. The Chargers have Joey Bosa. And as long as you have one of those types of guys, you can't be put in that same discussion. You know, so yeah, I think we benefited last week from the Giants just not being a big pass rush team. And remember, we talked about that, and I specifically said, look, we shouldn't be giving up pressure here. Like, that would have been alarming. Bells would have been going off. Whistles would have been sounded if Heineke would have been under duress on Thursday night. But he wasn't, and he shouldn't have been. The Giants don't get any pressure. That's not their MO. So as long as you can block Leonard Williams, and because they play a 3-4 defense, you should be able to block Leonard Williams. They're not always coming with 5 with their edge rushers coming off the edge. And even the edge rushers, even when everybody gets one-on-one, we can handle, Leonard Williams. And we did. So, yeah, I think we benefited last week from the Giants being our opponent and the line looking really good, so much better than week 1. I thought we struggled in week 1 with the activity and with Bosa at times and Uchenna, Nwosu. We struggled up front. We need to be better. This Bills front is going to look more like week 1's challenge with the Chargers than it will the week 2 challenge of the Giants. So I want to see how they handle that. And I already stated this earlier tonight. I am concerned about that. Not to the point where I think it's a hindrance where we can't, run our offense and be productive. But it's something that in the back of my mind, I'm going into this game saying, this is something I'm really focused in on because I'm not quite sure about this. So, yeah, I don't know how our line is going to hold up. I just can tell you this. Buffalo doesn't have a true dog up front. And because of that, I'm going to give the advantage to our offensive line. But it's a very, very slight one. Like, I don't expect sheer domination. Heineke didn't have to use his legs last week. I think he had a total of maybe 4 rush yards. He's going to have probably way more than that this week. If I had to guess, he'll have to use his legs a lot more than he did last week. That's just a guess. We'll see. Twin D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Twin D, writes, hey, LT, need any geek help with your selections? I knew this was coming. I thought it was coming earlier on the podcast, but I knew it was going to come eventually. After all, I am the reigning pick'em champ. I'm just saying. Let me first congratulate you to the victors. Go to spoils. Okay. You deserve all of the accolades. I'm not going to take anything away from you. That was a hell of a week to go 12-4 in a week that saw the Chiefs lose. You picked Baltimore. Like, this is the reason why I give you credit, but at the same time, I'm like, I ain't worried about Twin D, because you'll lose 8 games this week. That because you make, now I can say you're ballsy. You are not afraid to go out on a limb, even if that limb is extremely thin and will snap it at moment's notice. You're willing to go out there, okay? And you made all the right selections, even the ones that I deemed to be too risky. You said, I'm not afraid, and it paid off huge dividends. I have to tip my cap, man. That was a hell of a week. 12-4 in a week where Seattle loses. That Dallas game could have went either way. I think you got that one right. I know you picked the Ravens. I think you picked the Raiders too, which was a hell of a pick because I didn't see that one coming despite the win on Monday night against the Ravens the previous week. You had some really good picks, man. I got to tip my cap to you. 4 losses in a week where most people had 6 plus. Pretty impressive. But again, I don't expect you to do that too many more times. Okay. I really don't. You're going to have to show me. I'm from Missouri. You have to show me. But big ups to you, man. That was a hell of a week, bro. Got to give it to you. I was shocked. Not going to lie. Red Wings 0-1. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Red Wings 0-1. Who writes? Also, he said, also add they've played bad / mobile QBs. Who? The Bills or us? Trying to think. You talking about the Bills? I think you're talking about the Bills. Because they played Ben in week 1, and then I guess Jacoby Brissett because Tua got injured in week 2. So I'm assuming you're talking about the Bills' defensive front played against a mobile and bad quarterbacks. That adds to their luster and their effectiveness to this point for sure. But if you stay in your rush lanes and you're getting penetration and there's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to go. But like you said, you're playing a guy that can't move. It makes it so much easier when your target is stationary. So they're not going to be afforded that opportunity this week. Taylor, get the hell out of there. And I don't always agree with his methods and some of the lanes that he decides to take and how long it takes him to decide to get out of there sometimes. But he's not going to just be a sitting duck back there. I agree with you on that for sure. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Rob Yu. Double up. Writes, D-line has to collectively play well to beat Allen. Big facts. Without question. The game will be won in the trenches, I believe. Both sides of the football. Gonna have to protect up front. Gonna have to be able to run the football effectively to stay out of 3rd and long situations. And you're gonna have to be able to. The Bills aren't a big rush team. They can be if you allow them to be, but they're not really. They more so rely on their pass game. I mean, I've watched games where their offensive coordinator Brian Daboll, they've come out and thrown it 21 times straight before even thinking about running it. Remember that playoff game last year against Baltimore? I think it was. What was it? 19 or 20 straight runs or passes, excuse me, before they ran it once. I've seen them do that in multiple games before. Like sometimes running for them is an afterthought. And I guess maybe that is dependent upon the opponent. If look, we're playing Tampa Bay. We're not going to be able to run the football. Let's just to hell with that. Yeah, I get it. But I didn't necessarily feel that vibe a couple of times when I seen him do that last year. Just think they believe more so in their pass game than they do their run game. But we're going to have to get to Allen, and I think we're going to have to get to Allen with 4. When you got to start adding guys to the rush, I don't know if I trust Stephon Diggs against any of our defensive backs. He wins that matchup one-on-one any day of the week with any of our guys. That includes William Jackson III. So I'd like to keep the safeties deep if we could, to keep everything in front of us. Because as I mentioned with, Josh Allen, like any offense, you want to make them move it down the field slowly because you heighten the risk of a mistake, a turnover, a batted ball, penalties, things that derail drives. You increase the opportunity for you to get off the field or have something go awry by making them have to continuously convert 3rd downs and be, on their best behavior. Whereas if you give up a 2-play 77-yard drive like the one we had against the Giants, you don't have a chance to react. J.D. McKissick for 46 and Ricky Seals-Jones for a 22, and that's that. What are you gonna do? You don't want that. You don't want that. Twin D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. My guy Twin D writes, sorry for the typo. My phone's keyboard is wonky. You're good, man. I don't think there was any real confusion with your comment, so you're fine. I'm seeing a lot of comments about Heineke and Bud Light. Did he really get that endorsement deal tonight? Like, is that a thing, or are you guys just kind of going with the flow? Like, I don't have my phone with me, so I can't confirm or deny anything. But are you guys breaking news or what? Chilled Dude. Speaking of beer, Chilled Dude is the next super chat. How convenient is that? Thank you for the super chat, Chilled Dude, and thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Sup, Lou? Sup, Chill Dude? Says, ready for an upset? Me either, but defense going to take a step this game. Need to see better execution. I love where we're heading. Hashtag future bright. I love it as well. And no, I don't see an upset. And I'm fine with that. When I sat down and gave us wins and losses on the schedule, this wasn't one of the wins. But again, the Chargers wasn't one of the losses. So, if you want to get to 10, which is what I had us getting to, you have to make up for that somewhere. I'm going to say this. I don't think I've said this yet. I'm going to say this right now. Of the four teams in the championship game last year, of the teams that I deem to be heavyweight battles, or as Chase Young said, heavyweight battles, this is the lesser of all of the evils. This is the one that I think if you're going to try to get one you have no business getting, this is the most likely one. And the only reason I say that is because of all of those quarterbacks that we have talked about on the schedule, the vaunted quarterbacks, all of the quarterbacks that pose a threat that we think, man, they're upper echelon, upper tier. We're going to have our work cut out for us going against that quarterback in that offense. It's guys that are established in the league that have done it for multiple years. You know what you're getting year in, year out. We know what we're getting out of Russell Wilson. We know what we're getting out of Tom Brady. We know what we're getting out of Aaron Rodgers. We know what we're getting out of Patrick Mahomes. We know that. That's not up for debate. Those guys do it every single year. The one guy in that group that can't lay claim to that is Josh Allen. He's a one-off right now. Now, I think he's going to be one of those guys that does it on a yearly basis, but he hasn't. Last year was the first of what we think, or at least I do, I can't speak for you, I think is going to be of many years where he proves to the league that he is that guy. But he's got to prove it again. And right now, I'm just telling you, in the first 2 weeks, he's got plenty of time to explode and ascend. And once and for all, prove to everyone, yeah, I am that guy. He's not right there. He's not there yet. He's not playing at the level that he was playing at when the season ended last year for them. He's missing throws that he was hitting in his sleep. His off-schedule play hasn't been as good. He's turning the football over. So I think we're getting them at the right time. And of the guys that we think are elite quarterbacks, and I think he is as well, he's the one that doesn't have multiple years of proving that he's elite under his belt. In 4 weeks from now, he may be carving up defenses and in a rhythm. I don't think he's quite there yet, which means we'll have a shot. If we play ball, our best brand of ball. Thank you for the super chat, Chilled Dude. Derek B, my guy, Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Derek B, who writes, Zone read D, thumbs down, DN and safety hit running back, no free legal hit on QB. So I was explaining this earlier on the podcast, how NFL defenses play, zone read or read option. We botched it, and Ron was incredulous after the game, and I was pissed off because, Ron had talked all week about Daniel Jones's legs. Like, he essentially disrespected the man when they asked him, what makes Daniel Jones so hard to defend? And before the question was even finished, he said, his legs, his ability to run. Like, we knew that coming in. And still, we botched it. That's frustrating. But Ron said, look, guys just wanted to make plays. Guys were undisciplined. Their eyes were in the wrong place. We told them the keys to look for. They just didn't do it. When you play read option in the NFL, 90% of the time, it's not always the case, but 90% of the time, the DN is responsible for the running back. His job is to go after the running back, force the quarterback to pull it. They can make a decision early. There should be a replace defender, whether it's a linebacker scraping over or a safety coming down. There should be a replace defender. That replace defender has quarterback, has outside contain. That guy should just go after the quarterback immediately. Now, that guy can stay at home. He can choose to do whatever he wants, but his responsibility is quarterback. Just in case the quarterback gives it to the running back and misses, you don't want to create a massive cutback lane by just going after the quarterback. But if you so choose, that's your responsibility. Go after the quarterback. Read your keys, though. Too many times our end crashes down. Chase Young reads the play. And Chase made Daniel Jones pull it out one time. The one on like a 9-yard run where he slid a little earlier than he probably needed to. Should have gotten a first down. Ended up getting 9. I think it was another one too. He got like 12 or 13. Chase went after the running back and smashed my hell. I thought it was a tackle for loss. Like, look at Chase. Daniel Jones pulled that bitch out and took off. Why? Because that replaced defender didn't do his job. And on the touchdown run, that replaced defender was Landon Collins. He comes down, and for whatever reason, I can't explain it, he decides he's going after the running back. Well, we already got a guy assigned to the running back trying to take the running back down. So what are you doing? Don't ask me. I can't tell you. So, yeah. I myself personally, if you're going to include your quarterback in read option, I'm hitting his ass every single time. Whether he has it or not, he's getting hit. You're going to stop running that shit against us. And they're going to be legal hits. I'm going to put my shoulder right in his chest. Every time. Blow. I'm going to blast him. And you can do that. Rob U, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Rob U writes, Lou, I think we were fine with Cornelius Lucas at left tackle. Well, Charles Leno hasn't been bad at left tackle, so if it's not broken, we don't need to fix it. I mean, they love Cornelius Lucas as a swing tackle. I prefer him to be a swing tackle. That's what they signed him to be last year. Somebody goes down, you see Luke steps in. We got no issues, no drop off. Keep it pushing. So I think that's where they are with that, and I'm fine with that as well. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Metaphor. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, you said Washington football team had to get challenged, accept it, then accomplish it like against the Giants finally. Don't wait until you're 0-5 against a team to do that. Oh, I got you. Well, look, there were a couple in that losing streak that I was like, look, I hate the Giants, but man, we need to lose this game, you know, especially that 41-35 overtime win with Daniel Jones throwing for 5 touchdown passes, including the winner in overtime. I didn't want any parts of that game in terms of winning it. That was the difference between getting Chase Young and getting Andrew Thomas. Would you rather have Andrew Thomas or Chase Young? Maybe we take Justin Herbert or Tua if we don't have the opportunity to take, you know, Chase Young. If we end up with the 5th pick like the Giants did, maybe we go in a different direction. Maybe we go quarterback instead. Hindsight is 2020. I can tell you this. We were talking about doing a lot of dumb shit that draft. Other than, you know, if Chase Young wasn't the pick, which he was always going to be the pick. I think they really like Jeff Okudah. He's been awful in the league, and he's hurt again, and he's going to miss the remainder of this season. And they were also talking about Isaiah Simmons, and I'm like, he's cool, but I'm good. So, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Let's accept the challenge and get it done now. I'm with you. Jackass in the box. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jackass in the box writes, "Hey Lou, what's up, Jackass in the box?" Well, what's up, Jackass? It seems like a lot of Taylor's passes were high. Do you think that was by design, obstructed vision, or breakdown of mechanics? I think, one, he is a shorter guy. Got to throw it over the linebacker. You want to make sure you're clearing the offensive line. So I think there is a element to that. I do think that when he misses high, and that's usually a byproduct of, you know, mechanics and not driving through the football. So there could be a little bit of that. I can't tell you about mechanics specifically. I'm not a quarterback guru. You know, there are obvious things with quarterback mechanics in terms of feet and, you know, how you finish your throws and things of that nature. I can't tell you that I was looking at that with Taylor Heineke to be able to tell you if it looks clean or not. He looks to have poise in the pocket, look like his feet and mechanics are fine the way they are. I just think, you know, I can tell you the Chargers game when he first came in, everything was high. I think that was all adrenaline. He didn't expect to get in. He's thrusted into the game, and, you know, right away he's having to chuck it a couple of times, and I think he just let him rip. But when he misses high, I think some of that is a byproduct of, you know, line being, you know, big, some trees in front of him, and really just saying to himself, if I'm going to miss, especially if you're missing to the outside, I'm going to miss high and away from any danger. Over the middle, that's a different story. You miss high over the middle, you're trying to throw it to a safety, which I don't recall him doing that, but that one time to Diami, and Diami went up and got it. So I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal, to be honest with you. Thank you for the super chat, Jackass in the box. Martin Matthews, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Double M. Martin Matthews writes, "Hey Louie, what's up, Martin? I didn't believe that chase effort thing you were talking about until the Giants game. Did you see him chase down Barkley? 6'3", 6'4", 200-something pounds, and Sweat is faster than him? Yeah, we'll be all right." Look, I've been telling y'all about Chase's effort, and it shouldn't have taken you to the Giants game to see the effort. And maybe you weren't watching the film last year. That was one of my favorite things to point out on the film, was just the hustle of both of our defensive ends, not just Young, but Sweat as well. These guys don't give up on, you know, you guys remember the Montez Sweat, you know, tracking down of Cam Akers late in that Rams game. We're getting our asses handed to us. It's raining. It's a nasty, yucky day. It's the fourth quarter. We're getting our asses handed to us. The game's well in hand. Montez Sweat could have packed it in and say, "Oh, shit, F that. I'll get him next week." No. He goes and hawks down Cam Akers and pushes his ass out of bounds, you know, 35 yards down the field. He didn't have to do that. These guys hustle, man, every snap. I can't tell you how many times last year I pointed out Chase Young rushing up the field, it being a screen, And Chase stopping, retracing his steps, and tracking a guy down the field 8 yards. And in total, he just ran 25 yards to make an 8-yard tackle. How many dudes are doing that? Not many. Like, you get maximum effort out of Chase Young, which is why I don't understand why some of you are so quick to be so judgmental. Guy plays extremely hard, and I'm not saying that that's not a part of the job description. He's supposed to play hard. I'm not giving him credit for doing something that he's supposed to do, but every guy doesn't do that, especially with his talent. You know how many guys I've seen with his caliber of talent take plays off? Chase doesn't do that. And a lot of people are like, well, why is Chase out of the game? Why is Montez Sweat out? Because they hustle so damn much. They can be lazy on the backside of a play if you want them to, but that's not their game. That's not their MO. That's not how they're wired. They play until the wheels fall off, and once they feel that wheel getting wobbly, they tap out. Come on, James Smith-Williams. Come on, Casey Toohill. Come get you some of this. The one thing I can say about Del Rio this year is that he's done a much better job of trying to make sure at least one of them is in the game. One of my biggest pet peeves is when both of them are out of the game. Give me one of them at least. They've done a better job of that this week. We'll be fine, Martin. You're absolutely right about that. Dominic Garland, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Dominic writes, this guy was watching Mike Hunt, said Terry is a top 5 receiver. Do you agree? No, I don't agree. Remember, we did this when before the season started. I had Terry at about 12 or so. I think we tried to come up with a rough, list real quick off the top of the dome of receivers. And I said, Terry's somewhere probably in that 11, 12, 13 range. That hasn't changed after 2 games. Now, what I can tell you is if guys like Michael Thomas continue to be hurt all the damn time, Terry's going to pass his ass. But, Julio Jones is still Julio Jones. Like, the man had like 6 catches for 149 yards against the Seahawks on Sunday. Like, he's still Julio effing Jones. DeAndre Hopkins is still D-Hop. Like, that's not changing. That's 2 receivers. Devontae Adams is still Devontae Adams. That's 3 receivers. Stephon Diggs is still Stephon Diggs. That's 4 receivers. I mean, we can keep going on and on and on. There are other guys that I haven't even scratched the surface on. Mike Evans is still Mike Evans, okay? Like, there are a lot of big-time receivers in this league. I don't think Terry is there yet. He's vastly approaching the top 10 and looking to penetrate. But there are a lot of top-notch receivers in the league. And Terry's getting there. That's for damn sure. But make no mistake about it. Terry's really talented. And just because I don't think he's top 5 doesn't mean I don't think he's really good. You know how I feel about Terry. But I'm not just going to throw him over guys willy-nilly just because I love him. He's got to take some of these spots away from these dudes. No, you used to be the 8th best receiver in the league. Give me that. Now I'm 8th. You used to be the 7th best receiver in the league. Now I'm 7th. Give me that. He's going to have to tear these boys down and get up there. And those guys have to have drop-offs. So, no, he's not top 5, but he's damn good. That's for sure. And he's getting better. Red Wings 01. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Red Wings 01 writes, I think you misread my question. I think I did. Remember, I told you I wasn't sure when you were asking about the quarterback and being stationary and, not, being mobile or any good for that matter. He said, I was asking if you thought Buffalo benefited from playing the terrible Dolphins and Steelers lines. I hear you, though. Okay, so you weren't talking about their quarterbacks in particular. You're talking about their offensive lines. Yeah, that helps too, for sure. And as you mentioned, not having a mobile quarterbacks, guys that can't move, also makes it a lot easier as well. Yeah, that helps. When your offensive line isn't playing at a high level, it's going to make any defense, maybe look a lot better than what they really are. But that doesn't change the fact that Buffalo is really active. You know, the Giants could have gone up against either one of those offensive lines that you just called garbage, essentially, and they may not generate any sacks or pressure. You still have to be active, and you still have to force the action, and that's what Buffalo does. So I think they're one of those teams that they're just a handful to deal with because of their activity, and we're going to have to do a better job of communicating up front. Let's see. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Metaphor writes, NBC Sports confirms today Bud Light deal with TLH, the legend of Heineke. It grows. So you know what? I was just thinking about this. Heineke mentioned in his presser yesterday that at the end of the XFL games, they would get Bud Light Seltzer in the locker room if they won. And that's when they started chugging them, and it became a big thing. And he spoke about that. And I wonder if Bud Light was like, you know what? We like this guy. Hit his agent up. We're going to get something done here. I really do believe it will be Heineken's loss. That was a perfect opportunity for them to really take advantage of that. Again, I don't blame them for the position that they took. They're a long-standing beer. They'll be fine without more advertisement dollars being spent on another, on an endorser. They'll live. People will still reach for the green bottle. That's not going to change. But they could have brought more attention to their product because of the name recognition. But Heineke's got to play, better, and he's got to play consistently, and he wasn't there yet. So I get it. But Bud Light's like, shit, what we got to lose? We got Nick Mangold, who nobody knows in these commercials. What is it going to do? What difference if it makes if we stick Taylor Heineke in there? It makes a big difference. He's a quarterback. At least people know who the hell he is. We're not sticking an offensive lineman in there. So they got nothing to lose, this Bud Light. I like it. I like it a lot. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. I can see Rob, I can see Taylor Heineke chugging in the commercial. And then smashing the can on his forehead or something crazy like that, like he did in that XFL video. We'll see. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, my only concern with Heineke is health in the deep ball. I don't have a problem with his deep ball accuracy yet. We haven't seen enough attempts to say that his deep ball is inconsistent. I want to see him throw it. I know he didn't really hit anything in the preseason, so we'll see. My biggest concern is his health. Go ahead, and we know what it is. If he can stay healthy, I think sky's the limit for him. Honestly, I do. So we'll see. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Metaphor writes, oh, Ishlu, just realized Double Up is Sir Mix-a-Lot. Bro, where the hell you been? Metaphor, what are you doing, man? Seriously, you're just figuring that out. I'm so disappointed in you. But you know what? There have been times where you've said things that I didn't know what the hell you were talking about, and you were disappointed in me. So I think we're even now. I think we're even. Thad Gross, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy Thad writes, yo, Lou, keep up the good work. Hit that like button. Y'all heard the man. You know what it is. It's over 270 of you out there. Only 118 likes. We can do so much better than that. I appreciate y'all for getting that number up over 100, but we can do better than that. So hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Thank you for the support, Thad Gross. Derek Williams, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Derek writes, what up, Lou? Finally get to catch a live show. That's great to hear, man. Glad you could catch it, and I'm glad we chopping it up. He says, with Jamin being worked in slowly, what week do you think we see him in a full-time capacity? Hard to say, because ultimately it depends on his growth, obviously, and then it could also depend on the health of, the linebackers that on the team. If you have a guy or two go down, Jamin may be forced to play a lot more than they may want him to. But, if we stay relatively healthy as we have these first couple of weeks, they're going to continue to put him in situations that they deem to be advantageous to his skill set. I think he's really responding well. I cited 2 plays that I told you guys you can see on the TV copy. Just go back and watch. The very first play after the Heineke interception, Jamin shoots his gun, comes downhill, tackles Saquon Barkley for a 1-yard gain. It's a thing of beauty. It's the thing that we said he wasn't doing in the preseason. He wasn't being aggressive and coming downhill, and he mollywopped him. I mean, stopped him dead in his tracks, 1-yard gain. And then my favorite Jamin Davis play to date is third and about maybe 5. Giants in the red zone. Let's call it the 12-yard line. And they try to run a whip route. And Jamin Davis isn't going for it. So you get the slot receiver, and Jamin Davis is responsible for him coming into the middle of the football field. And Jamin doesn't bite. He tries to fake to the outside, then whip and turn and pivot back over the middle of the football field. And Jamin Davis just isn't having it. Stands there, waits for him to commit to the inside route. People call it the jerk route. I call it a whip route. You call it whatever the hell you want. The bottom line is Jamin Davis wasn't going for the bullshit. Stood his ground, made the tackle, 2 yards short of the first down. They had to settle for a field goal. I'm telling you right now, if that's John Bostic, it's a touchdown, walk-in touchdown. He goes flying outside off of that first, hezzy to the outside, and then the turn and pivot over the middle, and Bostic's nowhere to be found. But Jamin Davis stayed his ground. That's why we drafted him, because of the ability to play in the pass game. And I'm excited. That gets me excited about what he can bring to the table. So I'm going to say that you're going to start to see him in a more traditional sense where he's on the field for just about every package after the bye week. So what is that? Week 10, maybe 11, somewhere in there. That's my guess. Thank you for the super chat, Derek Williams. Thank you for the super chat, Savage_Killer78. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat and being a member of the MOBB. John Livingston, my guy JL Smooth. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the squad. Right. What up, Lou? What up, John? Says, as the resident Bills fan here, I think, LOL, your win depends on your D-line, in my opinion. If they can get to Josh like Pitt, Sunday will be a problem. I agree. It will be a problem. I still don't know if it'll be enough, but that's what has to be done. They have to make him uncomfortable, because he will make a mistake or two, because I talked about this already on the podcast. When you get quarterbacks who are extendo clip quarterbacks that can make things happen off schedule, and they don't know what the meaning of, hey, live to fight another day. They don't know the meaning of that. They think that every play can be salvaged and I can make something happen. I'm Josh Allen. I'm Russell Wilson. I'm Kyler Murray. I'm Patrick Mahomes. I'm Lamar Jackson. I can make something happen. That's how you get into trouble. And Allen is notorious for getting himself into trouble, trying to extend, forcing it, throwing across his body, or fumbling, getting hit from behind, not suspecting a defender, ball comes out. So I think one of the keys to the game will be, can we get pressure? And more importantly, can we get pressure with just 4, 5 at the most, but no more than that? That'll be the key to me. We'll see. I agree with you, JL Smooth. Thank you for the super chat. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Metaphor writes, damn it. Take a poll. How many peeps here knew that? Bro, you are the only one that didn't know that. Only one. I don't have to do a poll, man. Metaphor is not happy about that. Bro, you are the only one that did not know that. I swear. Got another one here from Jason Rogers. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Jason writes, meta for wild for that one. LOL. Appreciate you, Lou. I'm telling you, man. Appreciate you too, Jason, first and foremost. I'm telling you, everybody is like, yo, meta, you on one, bro. You tripping, man. Alex, stand up. You are officially the newest member of the MOBB. Really do appreciate you, Alex D. Herrera. You know what I'm not trying to be funny here, Alex, but I quickly glanced at your name, right? And when I first glanced at your name, I thought it said Alex Diarrhea. I'm not trying to be funny. And then I had to stare at the name a little bit longer so I could see what it would say. I just quickly glanced at it. And then I saw, okay, it's D. Herrera. You are in the building. You are officially a member. Mob, you know what to do. Show Alex D. Herrera some love. Welcome aboard. Thank you for your membership. And welcome to the squad. Martin Matthews, my guy, Double M. Thank you for the super chat. Double up. Even though Metaphor didn't know. My guy, Martin, writes, hey, Metaphor. I'm just catching that too. Oh, my God. There's two of you. He says, I knew I heard that double up somewhere, LOL. Oh, my God. I'm so disappointed in you guys. Martin, my baby, what are we doing? Metaphor, how could you? Shame. Double shame. Don't you know no good? Anyway, thank you for the super chat, Martin Matthews. It takes a real man to admit that you didn't know that. You could have just let Metaphor stand in that by himself, but you said, nah, that's my brother right there. I'm going to stand in there with him and take this L. Good for you, Martin. You better than me. That's for damn sure. You better than me. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Chauncey, thank you for being a member of the MOBB Rights. Lou, Chauncey, still excited about our possibilities, even with all the growing pains. As inconsistent as Bostic is, you can't teach his football IQ. You're right. You got to acquire that over time. You don't just get that by osmosis. You got to put in the work. And Bostic clearly does that. Doesn't always benefit him, but he knows what the hell is going on the football field. Can I just admit something to y'all? I enjoyed that win so much. I've watched that game like 5 times. I never watch games more than 3 times. And rarely do I watch it 3 times. I watch it a second time. A lot of times I'll watch it that second time when I'm watching film. But rarely do I go back and watch a game again. I've watched that Giants game. I've listened to that Joe Buck call of the field goal several times. I want to feel that again. I want us to win another game. And it doesn't have to be in walk-off fashion. You know, I just want us to win again. That one felt good. Anyway, I'm babbling. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Rob Yu, writes, saw Jamin flash a few times last week. Want more. Ditto. And I think they are seeing him play better and you're getting more. I thought that he was insignificant against the Chargers. I thought he was quite impactful against the Giants and made some big time plays in the game. And I think he's getting more and more comfortable, and they're getting more and more comfortable putting him out there because, I mean, think about it. It's 3rd and 5 from like the, let's call it the 8. I think the 12 is too far back. It's like 3rd and 5 from the 8. And there are no other linebackers on the field. It's just Jamin Davis. Just Jamin Davis. That's it. They spread us out, and it's just Jamin Davis. And he makes a hell of a ball play. You know, a hell of a play to eliminate a touchdown. And they entrusted him in being on the field by himself as the lone linebacker on a third down in a pivotal spot. I think that tells you a lot about how they're starting to feel about him. Brandon Hayes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Brandon Hayes writes, I would love a complete game on every phase of the ball. It's been a very long time since we've had that. I think the last time we had that was Thanksgiving against Dallas. You could argue the Steelers game, but I didn't really think that was a great game by the offense. Thought that was a solid game by the offense. I mean, we only scored 17 points. So, I mean, what was it, 17 or 20, whatever it was. We didn't score a bunch of points. I think the last complete performance was the Cowboys game. We scored 41. The offense scored 20 points, and then the defense ratcheted it up. They got some stops. They got a fourth down stop. Cowboys tried to go for it. Ronald Darby with a pass breakup. They tried to fake the punt. Special team stepped up, made a play there, and Gibby went apeshit. He went over like 125 yards rushing, like 2 or 3 touchdowns. I thought it was a complete performance by the football team. That was the last time I think we've had a complete game. Weren't complete against the Eagles, weren't complete against the Panthers or the Seahawks or the 49ers. I think the last game we had a complete total team effort across the board was Dallas Thanksgiving last year. So it would be nice. I agree. Wouldn't it be nice? Hunter Hodovic, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Double H. Right. Sup, T? What's up, Hunter? Sorry I'm late. No need to apologize. Here's some love for the streaming. Appreciate that. Always appreciate what you do for us, man. Here's to an impressive win this Sunday. Hashtag TLH, hashtag HTTFWFT. The legend of Heineke. It grows. That's right. I hope we get a look. I told you this when we were talking about the Giants, and I guaranteed that one. I'm not guaranteeing a damn thing other than we'll be competitive. I don't care how it looks, impressive, non-impressive. I just want it. You know, some of you guys get hung up on the minutia of what it looked like. I read posts from people, we won, but it didn't feel that way. I'm like, really? You came away from that game feeling like we didn't win it? I can understand the angle of the Giants made a bunch of mistakes, and if they don't make those, but that's a part of the game. So a wise man once told me this, and it shook me to my core, because I said, that is one of the truest statements I've ever heard in regards to football. A wise man once told me, more games are lost than won in the National Football League. Let me say that again to make it make sense for those of you a little hard of hearing. More games are lost than they are won in the National Football League. Think about that. How many games are cleanly played on both sides and the better team just won? It's not often. One of those teams usually pukes all over themselves or has an inopportune time when they turn it over or they do something dumb, a bad penalty at a bad spot. We just watched the Chiefs and the Ravens. Well played game. Mahomes throws a terrible pick and Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbles when they pretty much got the game right where they wanted. You could say the Ravens didn't win the game. I choose to say they did. But the Chiefs lost that game. We see it all the time. More games are lost than they are won. The Bears lose their starting quarterback in the second quarter. Justin Fields can barely move the football. He's awful in the game. And Joe Burrow throws 3 interceptions on 3 straight possessions, including a pick 6. And they lose the game 20-17. I'd like to say Chicago's defense won the game, but the Bengals lost the game. So you're not going to make me feel bad because the Giants made mistakes and we capitalized. That's how games are won in this league. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if the team's fans after the game say, we gave you that game. Thanks. Give me another one, please. I'll take another. You feel like handing them out? I damn sure feel like accepting them. I will never turn down an opportunity to win a game. If you're handing out dubs, where do I stand and where do I need to sign up? Because I sure want a dub every day of the week. Twice on Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays and some Saturdays. Impressive or not, Hunter, I just want the dub. That moral of the story. I don't really give a shit what it looks like. And I said that when we were going up against the Giants last week. JP and other people were like, yeah, we're going to blow them out. We're going to win by such and such, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, hey, look, I don't give a shit if it's by 1 or 21. I just want to win. And happen to be by 1. Let me have it. Derek Williams, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Derek, who writes, Lou, I know it's early, but as it stands today, what position would be most advantageous in your eyes to attack in the first round, excluding quarterback? Yeah, you said it. You know what it is. You know how I feel about talking about the draft. You know, we going into week 3 of the NFL season. I can't have that conversation with you right now. And you know that, Derek. Come on, D-Will. You tried to go, beat reporter on me. You tried to dress it up in a way that would make me want to respond. No, you answered the question. You already said, I know it's early. Well, if you know it's early, why you ask? I'm going to just throw you a bone anyway. I don't know any of these positions. I don't know what players are good or aren't good in college football. So that's another reason why it's hard for me to answer that. But right now, looking at the roster, we need another linebacker. That's as plain as day. If you're not going quarterback, I wouldn't mind going linebacker again in the first round. This may be the year you need to say, you know what? We need a defensive end because we can't re-sign both of these dudes. That could be, we need some depth at defensive end. That could be what they decide to do. You're going to lose Tim Settle. Matt Ioannidis only has 1 more year after this year left on his deal. Do you draft a defensive tackle? That's something you got to take a look at. So there are positions that if you're looking at the long-term health of this team, there are positions to look at and assess. Maybe offensive line is something you deem to be important. Love Sam Cosmi. We think he's ready to go to the left side. Now we need a right tackle. Draft a right tackle. That could be something else you look at. So many possibilities, right now. But we so early in the season, you can't really say because right now we could be thinking about all of these are strengths. We get to season's end and it's a weakness. Oh, we need one of these ASAP. So it's hard to say. I got to stop for my guy, Alex. I'm so sorry. I've got childhood trauma from, a name issue as well. So I know how that goes. And I hate to be that guy because I know how that feels. But I'm telling you, when I just peeked, that's the first thing I saw. But it's all love, man. You're part of the mob now. You ain't got to worry about that no more, man. We got you. Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Metaphor writes, Lou, must be a Martin thing. That's my name too. Of course. You know what it is, man. You know what it is. Now, I don't think he ever did that on Martin, but a lot of phrases that I use and things that I say, yes, it came exactly from Martin, without a doubt. Kevin the PRF, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Kevin the PRF, writes, I've watched Giants YouTubers end the game live streams. Does that count? Hurts. Not exactly. Close enough, though. I mean, if you get, satisfaction and gratification out of watching other people's pain and misery, go right ahead. Enjoy yourself, man. I don't gain as much satisfaction out of that as some of you do. I gain more satisfaction by watching Taylor Heineke with his knee on the ground, watching that football up in the air, realizing it's going through, and then watching him run onto the field and his face go from nervous energy to pure excitement and adulation. I get excited watching that. That's what makes me excited, because it plays that feeling that I had watching it all over again every time. So yeah, that's cool. But watching a Giants fan lose it, that counts. That counts as well. The Blocker, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. The Blocker. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Writes, what's up with JD Jack Del Rio's refusal to dial up the blitz more? I think some of that stems from, one, we think we can get there with 4. And then, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but we rushed 5 quite a bit. That's technically a blitz. When they put that 5th defensive lineman on the field, and you got 3 defensive tackles, and then you got Chase and Montez coming off the edge, technically that's a blitz, and everybody's supposed to be getting one-on-one matchups now. If they keep a backer in, or a running back or a tight end in, or they chip on the way out, it's not necessarily one-on-one the way you would perceive it, but everybody's not getting double teamed and everybody's not getting chipped. One guy maybe getting double teamed or chipped. That is it. You rush 5 guys, every offensive lineman is responsible for a guy. And we did that quite a bit against the Giants. So technically, that is a blitz. Now, I know what you're saying. When it's an unknown rusher, you don't know where he's coming from, you can't account for him, and that guy comes. That's what you're more so referring to. And I think Jack really doesn't want to put this defense in a position until he feels like they're ready for that kind of, pressure, because when you blitz, you're essentially leaving your secondary on an island. And what have they shown you in the first 2 weeks that leads you to believe that it's a good idea to leave William Jackson III, Benjamin St-Juste, and or Kendall Fuller, Bobby McCain, or Landon Collins on an island by themselves? What has shown you and led you to be confident that those guys aren't going to hold, get beat for a deep ball, or commit pass interference? Because Landon Collins couldn't even keep up with Kyle Rudolph, had to hold him on a 3rd down because he got beat off the line of scrimmage. William Jackson III got penalized twice and beat for a touchdown. Kendall Fuller got penalized on a 3rd down and beat on several different 3rd downs. And Benjamin St-Juste, we know he's not the fastest guy in the world, and he's still young. So I myself don't blame them for wanting to make sure that we get into a rhythm and guys are more comfortable before you start sending, 6-man and 7-man pressures. It's easy to say, yeah, we should blitz. Do y'all remember when Jim Haslett was here? I'll never forget this game. Week 2. of the 2010 season. And we are destroying the Houston Texans. And Jim Haslett refused to stop blitzing. And the Texans just kept hitting deep ball after deep ball after deep ball. And they came back and they beat us in a shootout. Am I tripping? I'm going to look it up. I don't have my yes, I do have my device in my pocket right here. I'm going to look that game up. Maybe I am tripping. I feel like my mind's like a steel trap. Washington versus Texans 2010. See if that pulls anything up. So the first thing that pops up, their quarterback threw for 497 yards. They overcame a 17-point third quarter deficit. They've beaten Manning and Donovan McNabb in back-to-back games. They even won an overtime game for the first time. Houston won a wild one Sunday, a game that produced nearly 1,000 yards of offense and wasn't done until Neil Rackers kicked the 35-yard field goal with 3:24 left in the extra period as the Texans knocked off the Washington Redskins 30-27 to move to 2-0 for the second time in franchise history. Matt Schaub threw for 497 in that game. 497, 3 yards away from 500. I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember that game. McNabb was playing well in that second game. Couple play action fakes over the top. We were blazing those boys. We were up 17 in the third quarter. And Jim Haslett got stuck on blitz. The blitz button got stuck. And we just kept coming and coming. And Matt Schaub just kept blazing and blazing us until they caught up and eventually beat us 30-27. All of you keep crying about wanting to blitz. Blitzing is great when it works. But you know what happens when it doesn't? You give up big plays. What do I always say? Don't give up big plays under any circumstance. Make them earn it. Shit, if we're bitching and complaining about those opening drives of the game. Last week against the Giants, it was aided by a Chase Young personal foul penalty that I thought was bogus. In week 1, I think that first drive was aided by James Smith-Williams' personal foul penalty that was somewhat skittish. Whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, they had to drive it the length of the field. Anything could happen. When you blitz, if you get there, it's great. Best thing since sliced bread. Everybody loves it. That's why we should blitz. Like the first play of the fourth quarter against the Giants when we sent Kendall Fuller off the corner on a blitz and he hit home and got to Daniel Jones. It's great. We should do it more. What happens if that lineman gets out to Kendall Fuller, kicks his ass around the pocket, Daniel Jones steps up and finds Darius Slayton for a 52-yard touchdown? Then what are you saying? We shouldn't have blitzed. Or then you blame the corner. Del Rio is doing what is in the best interest of this defense. Trust me when I tell you this. You probably don't really want us to blitz more. There's a reason they're not. I think the first reason, though, is because they trust the D-line to hit home. Without blitzing, no D coordinator wants to blitz. You blitz because you have to, because you can't get home with just a 4 or 5-man pressure. But as we saw against with the Raiders and the Ravens, there's a price to blitzing. And sometimes you pay the ultimate price. So be careful what you wish for. I think he's going to blitz more as the season progresses if the defense isn't able to hit home with 4. But there was more pressure last week than I think you guys, give them credit for. And I don't know if you guys realize this. We had 4 sacks in the game. 4 sacks against the Giants. So it's not like we weren't hitting Daniel Jones. It's not like we weren't getting to Daniel Jones. We just weren't getting there fast enough. Thank you for the super chat, The Blocker. Chauncey Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Chauncey Davis. Double up. Writes. Lou, Chauncey, is it possible to know who saw the talent in St. Juice? I remember your assessment before the draft, not criticizing. He's a steal with time. I was wrong about him. I didn't love him. I said the guy's got talent. He's got length, but I wasn't sold. I said he's grabby. He's very handsy. He's got tons of length. He doesn't have any ball production. I remember everything I said about Benjamin St. Juice. I didn't mind the lack of top-end speed because he's 6'3" with long arms. Got a ridiculous wingspan. So, that cleans up a little bit of that. But I said, I don't love this pick. The guy has no ball production. And, I think it was my guy, Derek B., that was adamant. He was like, dude, I don't give a shit about that. He's got PBUs. And he was one of the top guys in the nation, in terms of pass breakups over the last couple of years for the Gophers. And Derek B's like, yo, third and 7 pass breakup. I'll take that every day. They punting the damn ball. What more you want? I'm like, I want a pick. That punt's going to go 47 yards with no return. That pick is 17 yards and we going the other way. But to Derek B's point, if you playing sticky defense, if you playing sticky coverage, and you getting us off the field on third downs, that's as good as a turnover. May not net you the same field position, but I just want the ball to be back in the hands of the offense. That's all. That's it. So, I was definitely not feeling Juice. I said they know something, so I'm on board with it. I'm with it, but I didn't love it. Not in the moment. Absolutely not. So, we'll see how long it takes him to get a pick. The last guy that I said that about was Mackenzie Alexander when he was drafted by the Vikings out of Clemson. And I still don't like Mackenzie Alexander for that same reason. So we'll see. But Mackenzie Alexander also doesn't play for the Washington football team. So there's also that as well. King of the North, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, King of the North, writes, first and foremost, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. King of the North writes, looking forward to seeing how number 4 handles this challenge. First road game for him. Going to see how he handles himself under fire because the Bills will blitz. Leslie Frazier is not afraid to come with pressure. Absolutely. Good quarterbacks carve up the blitz. Bad ones fold. We'll see, won't we? So I can tell you from watching Taylor Heineke, from ODU, and even going back to the Tampa Bay game last year, the Buccaneers blitzed him. And he hurt him. But there were some times where he missed some things. So we'll see. It'll be a great test. I agree, man. A lot was made of him having not made an NFL start on the road yet. And, last year there were no fans in the stands, yada, 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 this, that, and the third. But it's not like the guy's played every game of his career at every level at home. So is this a different environment? Will it be raucous? Will it be rocking? Yeah. That's how they do it in Buffalo at what is it called now? Highmark Stadium, whatever the hell it's called now. They'll be rocking in Orchard Park, New York. So I'm just glad that we're getting them early. It's still not super cold, and I still think they're, figuring some things out, as many teams in the league are. It's just week 3. I'd like to get this out of the way as early as possible, catch them while they still trying to figure some shit out. Maybe we can sneak them. Just maybe. Doubt it, but maybe. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Metaphor writes, and let me just say, that was a really good super chat, King of the North. Thank you for that once again. Metaphor writes, Super Bowl ad prediction. TLH, the legend of Heineke. It grows. I don't always drink beer after a dub, but when I do, it's a Bud Light. And then I can see him chugging it. Yeah, that would be pretty dope. And then he's got to smash the can on his head, shotgun it like he did when he's with the XFL. That'd be pretty dope. We'll see what they do. All right. So that is the last super chat. So I am going to get out of here. So I want to, you know what? I'll save that for tomorrow's show. I'll lead off tomorrow's show with what I have. I thought somebody was going to bring it up tonight. Nobody did. Perfect. I'll save it for tomorrow. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Washington Football Nightly Live. I am a Washington fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to our beloved Washington football team. Look forward to chopping it up with you guys tomorrow on this program. Also, tomorrow night, we'll have Thursday night football overtime. Panthers and Texans. If you're not interested in that, I'll see you on Friday for a LouieTeeNetwork podcast. If you're not interested in that, we'll have our keys to the game and prediction here on Washington Football Nightly on the Friday edition. So I should be seeing you over the next day or two. Hopefully, we'll chop it up together, enjoy some ball, talk some ball, make some predictions, have some fun. And in the meantime, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care. God bless. And good night.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. There's the snap. Hand to Riggins. Good hole. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20.